We're on YouTube.
We're on YouTube.
Hi, YouTube.
So
we're here.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds.
5 seconds.
4, 3, 2, 1. Log on radio.
Turn this way a little bit. There you go. You're good.
The truth is out there. Knowledge is power. This is the Prepper Podcast Radio Network.
welcome back to an edition of the Eagle's Nest. This is Sherman Tank. It's my buddy Do Stuff, or Ryan. We're coming at you at 6 p.m. We just every week how to get together and self-reliance. And when we say self-reliance, you're going to have to learn how to make sure that you can handle yourself and make sure that you can take care of yourself
to a point
in a bug out situation.
Yeah.
But before we start that, I want to say, thank God the McCain funeral's over. It lasted a friggin' week. We were covering this literally last Monday night, and we're glad it's over with. So,
yeah.
See you later, McCain.
No. See you later, McCain.
Okay, so when you have a bug out situation, which we may end up having one come November, and we may have one in two different types of scenarios. Okay, so in with the political field the way it is, and how bad people hate each other, and the divide that we keep seeing in the United States, November is kind of critical for two different reasons. For us, the conservative side, it's critical that we keep the House and the Senate. So if we do that, if we keep that, the red wave happens and we keep the House and the Senate, the left is going to go absolutely apeshit. And now if they somehow end up winning, they get a blue wave or whatever, they end up winning the House or the Senate, now they have a chance to impeach Trump. So either way, we want to kind of cover some of the things that you need to be prepared for. Some things you've only got a month or two, actually about 2 months until November comes in. It's November 8th?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
so November 8th, most states will be voting, and actually all the states will be voting. So there's a pretty big chance that we can either lose the House and the Senate. And either way, like I said earlier, either way, it can lead to serious disaster. So if Trump gets impeached, the conservative side is going to rise up and all hell's going to break loose.
Well, maybe even if they try to impeach him, Pence is going to get in there, and then he's going to, he's probably going to.
Yeah, I still think you're going to have enough people that are going to be pissed off that he gets impeached. I think you're still going to have conflicts. It may not be all out, crazy nut job guerrilla style conflicts, but you're going to have conflicts.
Well, we're going to have something, and I think everybody just needs to be ready enough to be able to take care of yourself where you're at, with the bare minimums. You don't need a ton of stuff to just at least be a little prepared, for what could happen.
Right, and some of the preparedness that you would need would be, around that time, within a week of November the 8th, and possibly a week or two after. Make sure that you have no less than half a tank of gas. Make sure you got food and water on hand. It'd be a good idea to go and start stocking up now if you already haven't. And have some kind of an escape plan. Have a plan to get out of the area you're in. Denver, any large city where there's a bunch of craziness.
Go camping that weekend.
Exactly. Maybe a good idea to, if you got vacation time coming, it may be a good idea to take a vacation.
Yeah.
Go up in the hills.
Yeah. Go fishing.
But I believe November is going to be the closest we're going to have to a kind of a our own Red Dawn situation. I think, we're not going to have other countries coming over here, but, we may end up having the left out protesting left and right. And usually every time they seem to protest, shit gets broken, things happen. So if you're going to go to those kind of things, make sure you gray man it. You don't want to be standing out, because more than likely they'll outnumber us, because they tend to do that better than we do. So, just keep your wits about yourself, and, make sure that you're covered and you're ready to go. Now, one of the things that Ryan brought up this week on Facebook was each state really needs to have a central location for folks like us to be able to go to. And some people, I think, misunderstood that and, had mentioned radios and a bunch of other stuff. It ended up kind of going off the rails a little bit. The idea of that would be, you have enough people in your area or in your state, and somebody may have a big chunk of property, and you were to meet on that, and you'd have a certain amount of days to do that. And if you don't make it, they may be able to go out and start looking for you. So that's a great idea. I know of a place south of us and kind of in the Santa Cruz Mountains. That would be a great place. I'm not sure it would hold enough. The idea would be to get completely away from populated areas.
And to unite everybody.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if everybody's seen the Red Dawns, there's two different movies. There's a remake and the original.
I don't.
Actually, I kind of like the remake.
Do you?
Yeah.
I didn't like that much. I like Patrick Swayze. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and back then, the weapons and stuff they had was a lot different than they have now.
Yeah.
The idea with Red Dawn is, another country comes over, or several countries come over, team up to take on the United States, and they take over a section of land. And the new one, it was in Washington, and was it Washington and Oregon, I think?
I think so.
And then I think in the old one, was it California, the old one?
I think so.
Okay, so, that scenario actually is a real possibility. I mean, we're right on the coast with California doing what it does, limiting all the crap that they limit and legislating the shit out of everybody. Literally, they want open borders. So that would actually encompass someone coming into our state out of the ocean, not knowing that they're here, and doing all kinds of crap. Now, we do have military installations in California, so for them to do this kind of stuff, it would be very, very tough. But, when you get a military that's spread pretty thin, which is what Obama was trying to do when he was the president, that risk still happens. So, but the idea as far as, getting together, let's see here.
I don't see anything either. Nobody's talking.
Well, it looks like we're going to have to be on, that's weird.
Nobody's been posting anything. I was kind of wondering about that.
Well, it looks like people are going to have to check out
YouTube.
They're going to have to call in and listen to us, I guess. For some reason, Facebook is not putting up our live. It's either that or it's taking that sweet time tagging people. So, do you want to tag me? Hold on one second. And we're having some technical difficulties with Facebook. So let's get out of here. I'm going to go ahead and restart the Facebook live.
That's weird. Let me see if I see anything on there.
Huh. It's weird. Let's see if it pops up. Well, we'll just do another live. We'll try it one more time. But anyway, yeah. So the idea with having a bug out location would be to set it up to where when you come down, you have some supplies. You don't ever want to go to a bug out location without anything on you, because if you do that, you're asking for problems.
Mm-hmm.
And with that being said, the reason that you would have problems is you don't want to show up at a location and expect everyone else to take care of you.
Yeah.
If you do that, you're going to make waves really fast, and you're probably going to get either kicked out of the camp or you're going to get put doing some jobs that you really don't want to do. So you want to kind of show up there and have something to go with, and go from there. What the hell was that? Oh,
that was your drill.
All right, so we're live again. Let's see if we get anybody popping up.
Are we live again?
We're live again on Facebook. Let's see if we get anybody
popping up. How long were we on there for?
About 10 minutes, about 8 minutes.
8 minutes of nothing. Oh, you're on here now, live.
Okay.
Okay, so something's happening.
Okay, so at least that's really weird.
Yeah, you're on.
Can you hear me, Valerie?
Oh, look.
Okay, we're on here now.
We're here now.
We've
been on here for 10 minutes.
To see the full show, you may have to go to YouTube.
Yeah.
We were on Facebook, and it wouldn't get any numbers or anything like that, so I apologize about that. For some reason, it didn't actually go live. Nobody was getting notified. So it's 10 after 6. We've messed with it for 10 minutes. So we're now live. So do me a favor, share the crap out of this. We're gonna kind of go over what we did before, but the full show is gonna be on YouTube.
Let them backtrack
To what?
to YouTube.
But yeah, okay. So if you guys want to see the full show, the first 10 minutes,
Go to YouTube.
jump over to YouTube, Sherman Tank, and it'll be on there.
Yeah.
We are on the YouTube on live under Sherman Tank, so check it out.
Yeah.
Anyway, one of the things we were discussing is bug out locations and what you need to have when you get there. We haven't covered what you need yet, but it's a good idea to show up with some supplies, because if you do in a shit hits the fan situation and if you don't show up with stuff, you're likely to get turned away.
Yep.
So with that said, we're talking about finding a central location for bugging out as far as the whole state goes. One of the things that you got to do is you got to get together and set up an area that can hold and house enough people for the state. So one of the things that I did last year was I set up a statewide meet with all the threepers in the state. Now, out of probably 3,000 or 4,000, we had like 99 show up, which that kind of shows me the level of commitment in the state. And I'm not saying that people couldn't come or they didn't show up because they weren't committed. It's just where we had it, they might not have been able to do it. And I only set it up about 2 weeks ahead of time. This year, we're going to be trying to do something a little bit different, give everybody a little bit more notice. And we're going to try and set it up a little more central in the state.
Sure.
So I want to be able to do that. It gives us a chance to see face-to-face who everybody is. And it gives us a little bit more level of a trust whenever we run into each other. So, you want to know who's going to be there prior to. And I had covered this before. You want to be able to have communications with each person beforehand. Now, if you end up in a bug out situation or a shit hits the fan situation, like what may happen in November, we got to kind of have something set in place. So that's what this meeting would be about. And hopefully I can set it up before November 8th, before the voting happens. So hopefully that works out this way. Anyway, you got anything you want to add to that?
No, just be more self-sufficient. You want to be prepared for little stuff anyway. You should just have some water MREs on hand. Know your safety outs. So if you need to go somewhere, you know where to go. It'd be good for all of us to have a rally point, so we could all meet up. Don't make yourself a liability and showing up empty-handed. Now, I mean, granted, if you did, I mean, everybody knows you and you did show up. You did show up empty-handed. I'm sure, in certain instances, we would totally take care of you. But just good for everybody to pitch in and work together. That's about it. And I wanted to go over some of the California that's breaking wacko stuff that we have. Every week it's something new. So they're trying to pass 8 more gun legislation acts right now in California. I don't even know what they are, but I just heard about it. That's going to mess things up. We got everybody, all the liberals wanted to stay away from In-N-Out Burger. That didn't work out for them. Apparently, they're I guess double the amount of people have showed up for In-N-Out Burger. Kind of kicked them in the face. We did see McCain's funeral. He got sent off, and they tried to molest Ariana Grande. What else happens around here?
Well, the funny thing was
we got a mess going on.
Well, the funny thing was, I think that you had the liberals all going to Aretha Franklin's funeral, and I believe, if I'm not correct, I think she was actually a Trump supporter. So the laugh's kind of on them, actually.
Yeah, it don't really matter. It took them a week to do the funeral on both McCain and Aretha.
I hope they sealed that casket up, because I hate to have been the hearse driver that was carting that dude around. It's pretty funny. Anyway, so what we were covering a bunch of stuff as far as the bug out situation, things like that. So if you would be to sit down and write a list of things that you need on a daily basis. Now that means medical supplies that you would need if you're diabetic.
Not a lot of medical supplies, just basic
The
medical.
stuff that you need to survive.
Yeah.
And if you're diabetic, make sure that you got your insulin with you. If you're allergic to anything, make sure you have an EpiPen with you.
Mhm.
And then, if you're a 3%er like us, we have IFACs. So you want to make sure that the stuff's in your IFAC is fresh and good to go.
Yep.
Because you never know if you're bugging out, you're driving to a location, you never know what you're going to come across.
Yep.
So you may end up, getting in a crash. Someone may try and flag you down, try and take your car.
Again,
Exactly. Carry your guns with you. Anytime you go on a bug out kind of thing like that, make sure that you got your weapons with you.
and we understand that some people can't spend a lot of money on guns. You don't need a big gun to, get any gun is better than no gun. So, I mean, if you can afford a 1022, use 1022, $100, $150, and put it away, it's something. It's better than nothing. I mean, just think, what are you going to need? And some water, some MREs. MREs are cheap. You can buy outdated ones, sealed boxes for $30 a box. Those are cheap. Just put it away. Keep it in a safe, dry spot. One box of ammo is, for 22. I mean, well, you can buy 200 rounds for $12. It's literally just. And some people, if you got the money and the knowledge, go out and buy everything you need.
Well, and that's the thing too. Now think about it. If you're meeting in a central location, you want to make damn sure that, for one, you have gas. Now, if you end up in a bug out situation, we want to make sure that you got half a tank of gas or more, because at least with a half a tank of gas,
It'll get you out of where you're at.
Yeah, you can get about 150 miles in most cars on half a tank of gas, maybe a little bit more, a little less. Depends on what you're driving and how you drive.
You're driving a Hummer.
Well, he can drive pretty much straight through. He doesn't need to follow a road.
Yeah, but he's only going to make it about 12 miles at 55.
That's weird. For some reason, we're having
Technical difficulties.
We're having technical difficulties a little bit on our blog talk. So if you're, hopefully everybody's watching on here, not listening. We've had several different technical difficulties. I don't know if it's Facebook shutting us down, what the deal is. First, we went live on Facebook and it didn't pick up. We lost the first 10 minutes. Hopefully YouTube caught it all. We are running live on 2 different platforms. So with that said, I'm going to give a little bit of a shout out. If you're in the Denver area, there is an event going on September 23rd and 22nd and 23rd. It is called the Self-Reliance Experience, Preparedness and Survival Sustainability. I got the 4th book right now on how mainly on self-reliance, but how to survive a shit hit the fan situation, things like that. Dee is a really good author and just a great person. So if you're out in the Denver area, get a chance to go to that. Again, this September 22nd, 23rd. Definitely do that, because you're probably not going to find anyone that's cooler than her. With that said, what else you want to cover tonight? We've got about 30 minutes left, or about 40 minutes left.
Okay.
We kind of shot our load there early in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, we kind of went over a lot of stuff. I don't know. You want to cover some of the ludicrous crap that's going on?
We can do that.
All right.
So as most of you know, we live in California. We get to see all the crazy crap that happens in the country before it actually hits the other part of the country.
Yeah, like Denver and Oregon, Washington, Chicago, New York, blah.
So, what we've witnessed in the last basically 2 weeks is, well, one of the things that and California's done this before. They actually signed a bill. We had California wildfires up here last year.
Oh, yeah.
Wiped out everything up north.
Yeah.
And now we've got them again up in the Redding area. And PG&E is our electric company. And PG&E is being held responsible for the wildfires that happened last year.
Because if they didn't point the finger at somebody else to pay that bill, this state would be broke.
Yes.
Because it is the state's problem. It is the state's fault. But they love to blame anybody else that's involved, so they're not the bad guy.
So what's going to happen is the bill that they passed is basically going to allow PG&E, who's at fault,
to raise
the
our-
rates to cover the lawsuits that they're going to be facing.
Mhm.
If that's not liberal lunacy, I don't know what is.
Yes, but it's going to push PG&E out.
It's going to have to, because you're going to have to bring, if people are going to keep their power, electricity, and their water, they're going to have to bring in another company, because we're not going to be able to pay the rates.
Yeah.
You're going to have people literally camping in their freaking backyards because they can't afford.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
Everything else. So,
And then also California wants to rate. They want to tax us on our water. Oh no! Start raising our rates on our water, because they take all of our Northern California water, our excess water, and they ship it to LA, everywhere down south where they're willing to pay more money for it. And then it puts us into a drought up here because we run out of water.
right.
And then they raise our rates. Well, I think I sent it to you. It's something, they're raising our rates on our water, on our regular drinking water, even more. We're being taxed out. That's what's going on. Taxed and lawed out.
Well, what they're trying to do is they're trying to create a slave market. Basically, they want all the blue collar folks out. They want us out.
Yeah.
And it's pretty obvious if you go into some of the restaurants nowadays, and this is the way it is across the country. You order through that, and they're eliminating the need for any kind of workers.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go into Amazon, you go into a lot of these other big internet things, most of their workers are robots.
Well, they use those now in San Francisco.
Mhm.
Robot drives around.
Well,
drops
not
off packages.
only that, but they're also using
The-
robotic police. Have you seen the Google campus?
Oh yeah.
They actually
it's a
have
robotic cop.
robotic security guards.
Yeah.
That runs around, and it's got cameras and
Yeah.
everything else, sensors and shit. Actually, I think a few months ago it actually fell into the pond that they
Yeah.
have there.
Yeah.
So we all know how well that works. But it's getting to the point now where literally California is regulating itself into oblivion.
Yeah, and taxing.
And with all the crap that's going on with Google, Facebook, and all this other stuff, that they're really pushing. Congress is really pushing to start regulating them more. And they want to know what we're doing. They want to do. Big Brother's basically kicking in.
Yeah.
And they're trying to regulate them. A lot of it is because the conservative voice continues to get
Bigger.
well, it gets bigger, but it also continues to get hammered more on social
Well,
media. We get shut off.
You seen what happened with the In-N-Out? So they tried to shut it down. They wanted to do a boycott, and they got twice as much business.
Oh yeah, they set records this week.
Yeah, there's I went there yesterday. Lines all the way up the road. I couldn't go the same way yesterday, and then I tried to get that Republican style, which is BS.
Yeah,
Don't do it.
It's
it
internet.
doesn't.
it's only allowed on the internet, I guess.
Yeah, it was fake.
But I have a feeling that at least I hope in California, I hope that they have a rude awakening, because the crap that they pull over McCain's funeral. Okay, so you get all the liberals that show up at McCain's funeral, and all they do is bash Trump. Trump does everything he can to stay out of it. He actually ends up sending Air Force 2 to transport McCain's body back to Washington, or wherever it's at, so it can be buried. I think it was the Naval Academy or the Naval Yard or whatever it was. So he actually did more for McCain than what anyone else has, and has been the biggest traitor in Congress, I think, that we all know of. And I'm not going to bash McCain. He's dead. He's gone. Good riddance. We can move on. But we're just hoping that whoever fills that seat is an actual Republican or a conservative, and not one in sheep's clothing again.
Yes.
It's important that happens. And I think the governor, from what I've been reading, the governor he'll have his choice, but he wants to remain on the good side of Trump. So hopefully he makes the right choice, and things go the way we want them to,
Or they should go.
So let's cover a couple different scenarios.
All right.
Okay, let's cover what happens if we end up retaining the House and the Senate. Obviously, this is something else we forgot to cover.
Oh, okay.
Tomorrow, I believe they're going to vote on whether or not they're going to put Kavanaugh in the Supreme Court. I think it's tomorrow. They started talking about it today a little bit, and with it today being a holiday.
He'll get in there.
there's a pretty good chance Kavanaugh's going to get in. Actually, there may be some Democratic people that vote for him, which would be huge.
Yeah.
And that will show, there are, we bash the left and everything else, but I will tell you this, there are still some good people on the Democratic side in Congress, and a few of them will probably vote for Kavanaugh. He's got everything you can possibly have in a Supreme Court. He's got a really high rating with one of the boards that he's been on or whatever. So he's got all the marks that you would need for a good Supreme Court justice. And, basically the Democrats have no foot to stand on this issue. And one other thing that may have happened that you guys didn't notice is the Democrats wanted to go on vacation. Okay, Trump called them all back. Did you see this?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so for them to go on vacation, they had to agree to allow a bunch of Trump's judicial picks to go through.
Yes.
And that actually happened.
Yes.
I think there was either 10 or 15 judges that Trump was able to slip through because the Democrats wanted to be lazy and go on vacation.
Yeah.
So that was the trade-off. He allowed them to go on vacation, but he got the judges to go through. So Trump is doing a lot more than what we're seeing all the time. Now, if we can get Sessions to go along with it, Sessions hasn't done shit.
We need to get rid of that guy.
I have a feeling after November, he's probably gone.
I mean, he's literally, he's garbage. He doesn't do nothing. Whatever. I mean,
well, most of us were excited to see Sessions get in there. But
we were at first.
He's been in there for 2 years.
We thought we would see Hillary in a jail outfit by now, but that guy doesn't do nothing.
Well, the first red flag was the fact that he recused himself from the Russia thing.
Yep.
Okay, and he didn't even do anything wrong with Russia whenever he had a meeting. He did the meeting he had supposedly was actually at the RNC committee or the convention, and he did it in front of like 30,000 people.
Yeah.
It wasn't like he was hiding anything. So, of course, the Democrats are screaming left and right. So he decides to recuse himself from the Russian scandal, and which was a complete freaking joke. So, we have things that are working and going. So, anyway, let's get back to the scenario. So, if we retain the House and the Senate, if we do that, expect to see all kinds of crazy crap. Expect to see false flags. Expect to see shootings, because literally the left is going to be screaming left and right, because that means that we get the House and Senate for the next at least 2 years. We only have to retain 25?
I think it's
25 picks?
Yeah.
Something like that. Okay. And they need less, but we need to retain at least 25 picks. And I have a feeling that across the country, I think that'll happen. I don't think we're going to lose that, but who knows? There is
anything can happen.
Now, Trump had 2 of his original supporters, and I think it was in Arizona, that got nailed on some kind of, I don't know if it's corruption or what it was, but Sessions had no problem going after them, but yet he's still scared to go after anybody on the Democrat side. So
for some reason,
and
I don't get it.
All this stuff is proven. I mean, you look at everything that's been dished out. It's ridiculous to see any of these idiots still walking around. It's very evident. And powerful.
Hell, we got that are set up just for people in Congress and Senate, but we have to
state.
Yeah, and we literally, being citizens, have to stand in line for
hours
3 hours to renew a license. They got licenses right there at the Capitol. I don't get it. They can walk right in there and do what they need to do. It takes them 5 minutes. It takes us 3 hours. It's a mess. You're right. There's a whole different set of rules, them versus us.
And that's the thing that, we've talked. I'm sure most of, the 3%ers out there, the conservatives out there, have all talked about doing some kind of an uprising. Now, you could do that, but unless you get thousands of people showing up, at state capitals, you get thousands of people showing up at an event, it's never going to happen on our side, because for one, we work, For two, we are law abiding.
We work.
Well, that's just it.
We work. We don't live in mom's basement. We literally work. We have to work. We have to support our families and our lives and pay rent. It's like 72 million a week to live in California. Come on.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
That's what they're trying to do. If you look at, and keep in mind, everything that happens in the country happens here first. Don't be surprised if another month goes by and you start hearing about a straw ban in another freaking country.
Well,
Speaking of which,
we still got our straws.
we're still stocked
Yeah,
up.
that's right. You guys ever need some straw? We'll hook you up.
It's one of those things where we are the testing ground.
Well, not always. Like the CCW thing, they started doing that all over the country. Constitutional carry.
Yeah.
It hasn't reached here.
Well, and I doubt it will, because for one, if it did, then I'll be damn scared that we would actually uprise and go in and do what we had to do.
We don't need permission to uprise. We can uprise if we feel like it, right, guys? We can do
Well,
that.
yeah, I agree with that, but unless you get 100+ people showing up, you're all going to jail.
Yeah, well,
Or getting shot, one of the two.
that's true. I mean, it's just basically like they always say, it takes a spark. So you're going to see one day, you're going to see a very well off, maybe family oriented conservative, and be sitting at home, and one day, he just they'll come to take his guns or what have you, and next thing you know, a lot of people will sympathize with it, and it may turn into something. I mean,
Well, I've been thinking about this. One of the things that we need to do, and maybe it's been tried, maybe they won't put the shows on, I don't know, but they hammer us no matter what it is on social media. They hammer us on TV. They hammer us on everything that you can think of. And I posted this earlier this week. It's almost like we're living in the movie V for Vendetta. And he's going through and he's opening everybody's eyes. He's showing everybody what's going on. The media is just like the media in V for Vendetta. They're full of shit. You can't believe anything that they say. And the government prior to Trump was the government in the movie.
Yeah.
And you had shadow conspiracy crap. You had everything. They're doing this in Canada, and they're doing this in other countries.
Europe.
You say something. Tommy Robinson is an example of this.
Yep.
You say something that pisses off the leadership, and there is no free speech over there.
No.
You say something that pisses off the leadership, and next thing you know, you're 3 months in jail.
Yeah.
And you're getting put in with a population that they know for a fact is going to kill you.
Yeah, we have a constitution for a reason. And you guys, I mean, a lot of you probably know it by heart. Man, preach it to anybody because they don't teach this in school. They don't tell anybody about it. And it's all we got left. They've passed so many laws. I mean, here they passed so many laws. Literally, the only true law that you have your freedoms left is the Constitution. That's it. That's all you got. I mean, I ask kids all the time. My son goes to school. I ask, like his friends, they teach you guys the Constitution. Nobody knows. I've even talked to high school kids. They don't know it even exists. It's a scary thing when they have the freedom. This state passes whatever laws it sees fit. And for even 12 years, 10 years now, SCOTUS hasn't even ruled on anything for Second Amendment. So the state feels like get away with whatever it wants. And then other states see it and they just literally follow right down that path. Before you know it, you got half this country, passing just laws, whatever they want, because it's their state. But, federal law supersedes, state law. And a lot of people, they're not fighting for the rights. They're just kind of like, well, it's safer or to do this or that. We're losing our guns. We're losing our speech. We're losing our freedom in general. Like, we have to worry about what we say on here. We'll get kicked off. Literally just talking to you guys. I mean, saddest thing in the world. We can't say what we truly want to say because
if we did, we'd be
we could, but it'd be the last show, because we would be rallying up for people to put your feet down and dig in and, fight back, but we can't say these things.
Hey, Valerie, is the Blog Talk show actually working now? I see you're putting up the number, so I take it that the Blog Talk show is actually on now. For some reason, we were having technical difficulties with it earlier.
We're always having technical difficulties.
Okay.
We're back.
It looks like we're back on the blog talk thing. So
We're doing stuff.
hopefully it lasts. We've been hammered a couple different ways tonight. The Facebook Live didn't go through the first time we tried it. We had to start it over.
They got us.
And the freaking Gestapo, the Facebook
Gestapo got us.
finally kicked in and nailed one of my live shows.
That's right. They got us.
It doesn't happen very often, but once in a while it happens. That's one reason I started doing things on YouTube as well. So there is record of what we said. One of the things that, and most people, we all kind of back the blue. We all know, we all respect what the cops do to the most part.
If they're following this, I respect it.
Absolutely.
I totally respect any cop that follows this and for citizens' rights. I totally have their back 100%.
Now, one of the things I was talking to somebody about, actually it was a coworker, about was why don't states, and it would be easy for them to do. The reason I'm bringing this up is because our town is like 15 cops short, and that's what California is doing. Is they're trying to legislate everything away. One of the things that they just did is the bail. Okay, they've eliminated
no more bail.
They've eliminated bail in the state of California, and what that means is you can go out, you can commit a crime,
like breaking and entering. How's that?
There's two things bad with this, not just one. Okay?
There's more than that.
Well, yeah, but I mean, there's two really bad things. Okay, so in the Constitution, in our Bill of Rights, basically in the law, anywhere in the law, it says that you are guilty or you're innocent
until proven guilty.
So now, no matter what it is you do, if they and here's the thing, it's kind of iffy, is who decides whether or not you're going to get bail, or whether you're going to get released, or whether you're going to sit in jail until your trial.
Well, it comes down to whether it's a violent felony or it's not.
Well, who's going to decide that?
That's the gray area in California. It's like,
there was a guy in Florida that got arrested for giving his girlfriend a wet willy today.
That's a violent felony.
That's aggravated assault.
Yeah, I seen that video. He got drunk and gave her a wet willy.
So, I mean, like, what the hell planet are we living on? So here's the thing is bad. Okay. So, you're innocent till proven guilty in every state but California. So now, instead of, getting bail, okay, you're eliminating several things.
I believe that this law was put in place, or this whatever you want to call this. It's not, it's whatever they're doing, but this bailless thing, I think, was specifically designed for the illegals.
Yep.
Yes.
I agree.
The reason why I say that is they don't have to book them. Then they don't have to worry about, release dates, so forth, and ICE being there.
Yes.
They can release them right there on the spot for breaking and entering, driving without a license, whatever, DUI. They do no longer do you have bail. You don't, there's nothing.
There's no evidence.
There's no evidence. They don't have to hold you, detain you. ICE doesn't have to be waiting out front of the jail for them. That's what I believe that this is specifically for, is pushing that illegal agenda here in California. Because we've had this, you're literally, how many bail bonds places are going under because of this? I heard it was like 2,500 in the state.
Something like that.
Something like that. There was an astronomical number of American-owned people that have been doing this 50, 60 years. They're out of business overnight. They're closing up shop and leaving.
Well, bail bonds is basically the state's insurance policy that they're going to get these people to show back up because
money.
That's their insurance policy. Okay.
Yeah.
So, if the state wants somebody to show up, and to bail out, they got to go to the bail bondsman. Okay. If the people don't show up to the hearing, now the state gets the money from the friggin' bail bondsman. And sometimes it may be, if it's $250,000, you got to put up $2,500. It's 10%.
No, that'd be 25,000.
Okay, yeah, 25,000. So you may be putting up your house, you may be putting up a car, depending on what it is you did.
Yeah.
If you did it like a DUI, your bail may be $1,000.
Yeah.
But if you look at it now, who's going to be going after the people who don't show up for the trials?
Well, that's the thing. So when they do find them again, what do? They can't take them to jail.
They're going to bail them again?
No, they just give them another ticket. So it's just a reoccurring thing. But that's what happens. pretty much California's been leaning in that direction anyway with all the illegals and everything else. They're kind of not wanting to take them to jail because then next thing we know, we read about it, the ICE took them in, and California is literally for the illegals, not for the citizens. It's not for people like us anymore. It's not for the hardworking people. They don't care.
Well, like I said, way back when this started happening is, well, it's been happening for a long time, but, they're eventually trying to turn California into a kind of a slave state, so to speak. Okay.
Yes.
You look at all the homeless, they can't afford to live here.
Needles. They're
giving them drugs.
They're opening up a needle exchange safe shooting spot in San Francisco.
It's already open.
Unbelievable.
It's already open. It's been open.
No. They can't open it.
I thought they already had a safe place for them to go.
Well, I think they just do it on the streets now. They just do it right in the
Well, it's because that place is full. They can't. I mean, the waiting list in there is huge.
No, I don't believe it's open yet. They're waiting to. It's just like California with every single thing where the federal government's in their way. They're literally sitting there with lawyers trying to figure out ways we bend this and tweak it so we can get around it. That's what they're doing.
Well, here's how you fix the state of California. Here's how you fix any other.
Let's hear it.
No, I'm not joking. Here's how Trump fixes any of the liberal states out there that completely trash the Constitution. They completely get rid of any kind of semblance of normalcy that all the other states show. What Trump needs to do, and I put up a huge thing on it, and all kinds of people responded to it, and they liked it even on Twitter. What you do is Trump needs to come out and he needs to deputize
every
citizen, every patriot that thinks that he can do it, and eventually it's going to end up having to come to something like that. And he could even do it for 24 hours. It could be a temporary thing. He could do it for 24 hours. That would be long enough for us to go in during a legislative hearing or whatever you want to call it, and literally 100 people would show up and they would wipe it out. And you could use the Marshal Service, United States Marshals.
Yeah.
You could use them in it was the Texas Marshals.
No, it's United States.
United States Marshal Service. Okay, so you could literally deputize
anybody he wants.
They could go in and they could arrest them, and we could do that actually if we had proof. Find proof. Definitely. If you get a constitutional sheriff, take it to him. You want to be able to arrest these idiots. All right, looks like we got Aaron on the line.
Is he there?
Is Aaron on here?
It's from the note we got. He's on there.
I can hear you guys.
All
What's
right,
going on, Aaron. How you doing, buddy?
You there, Tank?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear it. Hey, first thing, you got to get that guy a 3% Nation T-shirt.
I'm not even wearing one today.
Come on, it's Merca.
I'm wearing We the People.
It's Merca. Come on, look, the hat's Merca. Come on.
He'll get one.
I wanted to give you guys an update on the Pops.
Oh,
there you go.
How's he doing?
He is in a rehab so they can get a bunch of physical therapy to him. He's not doing well, but he's doing better. He ended up with pneumonia and lymphoma and prostate cancer, and he was going to all the rallies, the events, the barbecue, and was fighting through it just to make sure he was there with all of us.
Well, now he's got to take care of himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's there. They're taking care of him real well. I've been jumping on some nurses' asses and some doctors' asses. We need him out there with us.
We need him back.
Well, that's good, man. I mean,
his birthday's coming.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Tank.
Go ahead.
His birthday's coming up on the 23rd, and I'm hoping that he is out of there. I don't see it happening yet because he's got a long way to go. He's been fighting hard, but he might be in there another month, maybe two. I'm not sure.
Right. Well, as always, we all got prayers out for him. Everybody that knows Pops, I'm sure, is praying for him. And he's a tough dude, man. He's fought some stuff before, so we'll just continue to get the prayer warriors going and keep him in good spirits. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, thank you. Keep it up, people. We need it. I love you all. Thank you, and we'll get the next people in line. Is there somebody else in the queue?
I'm not sure if they are or not. Let's see. We have another. Yes, we do. We have one more caller, Aaron.
Okay. You guys take care. Have a good one.
All right, you too. And God
Prayer
bless.
Warriors, keep it up.
All right, man. Take it easy. Give him a hug for us. All right. Who else we got on? Get some feedback.
Yeah, what's that?
That's weird. Valerie, if you got someone else on. I'm getting feedback from like the last conversation.
Doing stuff. Just doing stuff.
I think we're getting screwed.
Are we getting screwed?
Maybe so.
Is the Facebook
Maybe can you tell him to call back?
Is the Facebook screwing us?
That's weird.
They're watching us.
Anyway, if you called in, do me a favor and call back. We can't hear you. So I'm not sure what's going on. I don't know if it's your phone or the service or what. We've had some really weird stuff go on tonight. So
FBI.
we've had Facebook that didn't want to let us to go through, and now we're having Blog Talk issues. So that's one reason I ran a backup, and we've been doing it. The live may be going kind of weird, but hopefully whenever I save it, hopefully it cleans up a little bit. It's John McCain's ghost. I doubt it. He's brought in hell. Say if that dude go through.
Nope.
He ain't getting back out. I hear it's hot down there though.
So what are we waiting on?
Well, we had another caller, but apparently we couldn't hear him. So hopefully,
I heard some weird squeaky stuff going on.
Well, that was the last call.
Oh.
It was like it was replaying it.
Oh,
that was kind of weird.
That's kind of cool.
So-
NSA's
So, be looking for, if I set up another statewide meeting here in California, be looking for the post because I'm not going to advertise it on Facebook. It's going to end up being the same thing that I did last time.
on the DL.
People, exactly, 100% on the DL. People are going to have to send me their phone number, and I'll give them the date and the location. But, that's one of the things that I've always wanted to do was, I want to make sure that when we do stuff as a group, we try and remain as safe as we can. So, if we can do it that way, more than likely, I would prefer to do it through Signal or Telegram, or even an email would be better than doing anything on Facebook.
Yeah,
All right, Alan from North Carolina.
I like that guy, Alan.
Go ahead and put him through, Valerie.
Hey, Sherman. Hey, Ron.
What's up, buddy?
Y'all were started talking about prepping and survival and stuff like that.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if y'all went through this, but y'all within a group got to have trust
Yes.
with each other.
Yep.
That's the most important thing. And you can have all the bug out location and all that, but in that immediate group, you got to have trust.
That's true.
And like you said, I mean, you got to have a half a tank of gas in your car and
Yep.
necessity tools just in your vehicle
Mhm.
if you break down, I guess.
Well, if you get a chance to go on and look at some of my past videos, we covered this quite a bit. And we did a few videos on exactly what you're talking about, trust and things like that. So, trust is built on getting together and getting face to face. That's part of that. If you can't trust somebody to meet you face to face, then it's probably not going to work out.
Probably not.
No, it won't. Because I mean, as me being a prepper and a survivalist here in North Carolina, I mean, the group is very small.
Mhm.
I mean, no joke. But I mean, but just keep up the good work, and just wanted to let y'all know I've been watching y'all's videos.
I
All
appreciate
right.
it.
Well, we appreciate you watching them.
And hang in there. We'll start
Roger
giving. Hang in there. We'll start giving T-shirts away here soon. Right now we're kind of backed up
I'm
because
not worried about.
I got
I'm not worried about no T-shirt or stickers or anything. I I just want to show y'all my support.
Oh, we
well, thank
appreciate
you.
it.
To y'all.
Thank you.
Yep. We'll see you later, man.
All right.
All
Later.
right, buddy. What do we got now?
Thanks, Alan, for calling in. And, if we got no callers around right now,
No call?
we got 10 minutes. We got enough time for one more caller if someone wants to call in. We got 10 minutes. If anybody wants to call in and talk a little bit about what we've talked about tonight. Some of you guys may have missed some of it because Facebook has been acting weird. YouTube has been acting weird. I seen one of my friends was on here saying that the feed was acting up on YouTube even.
Yeah, they're doing stuff to us.
So, the NSA may be going after us. Who
That's
knows?
right. CIA, FBI, all the acronyms are watching.
Because we're so dangerous.
They're dangerous. Man, they're scare the shit out of them.
Someone give us a call. We got about 9 minutes left.
Yeah, we want to talk to you.
Call Martha.
Call Martha.
Yeah, I want Martha to call us. Come
Yeah.
on, Martha, give
Come
us
on,
a call.
Martha. Call him in. Is she calling?
I don't know yet. I'm still waiting to see.
Oh,
Alicia can call in too.
yeah.
Alicia, call in. You're up
Yeah.
in Idaho now. She's in free country.
Free country. Beantown.
841-241-9930 and dial a 1, Martha or Alicia. Either one.
Yeah.
Give us a call. We're sitting here with it twiddling our thumbs or he's
No, I'm
playing with
playing
his
with
knife. Oh, he's playing with
Play the
tape.
tape.
He put the knife away, now he's playing with tape.
Yeah, well, all the contraband stuff, straws and tape over here. Shit, imagine what I could build.
All right. So who's gonna be our next victim on The Price is Right? Yes, Alan, go ahead and add us. That's fine.
You know what we should start doing is every week start giving out like a really cool prize or something.
Well, I used to give out T-shirts
Yeah, but
every time we do a T-shirt.
Yeah, but then everybody gets a T-shirt, and then what?
Well, no, I picked out of one.
Get some of the like cool stuff.
Bob, I would talk about that, but I don't know enough about it. I haven't really researched that
What is
that
he
much.
talking about?
Voting in jail.
Oh yeah. California, they're gonna let the felons vote now because nobody deserves more free food and free.
Because they ain't got nothing else better to do.
No
than join.
shit, they love prison. I swear, man. Most of them are literally they're just part of the system now. So they have no problem voting for Democrats now. I mean, more they'll just offer them free more dessert.
Well, here's the one thing. Here's the one thing you got to remember. The only reason that Democrats want other people to vote is because they know that they'll end up getting the votes. That's that's the same thing with the illegals coming over here. If okay, let's go ahead and put one of them on.
Who we got?
Who we got on the line?
Somebody. What's up?
Who we got?
Slider.
Oh, hey, Slider, how you doing?
What's up, my brother?
Not too much. Just chilling like a
So
villain.
I talked to Wendy yesterday, and she was talking about helping putting something together, like the Red Man or something like that, similar to the Burning Man, but for patriots.
Right? Yeah.
Did she talk to you about that? Are you in communication with her?
She messaged me on it. My thing is depending. It would have to depend on when it's going to be, and my schedule for like the next 2 months is like super booked.
Right. Well, I'm going to be going out on the road myself. I'll be leaving around the 24th of October, and I'll be back home around 3 days before Thanksgiving. So I'm going to come around and meet a bunch of you guys. We're gonna do some conversations. I've been doing this for a while. I had my Blog Talk Radio show. I had to go into hiatus in May because I just had I was worried about too much other things. I was on the front lines just like you guys are. So I had to upgrade my home. I had to upgrade my truck. So I got involved and got all my stuff squared away. So I'll be coming back on the air in October myself.
Okay.
So I just want everybody to understand that what's going on in California is a real deal. The elitists are using the directed energy weapons to burn people out. The smart meters are the targets. I tested the equipment in 1975 when I was in Combat Experimentation Development Command, CDAC, I-Corps. I was out in the desert in Hunter Liggett, California. We were testing this stuff off of tanks and then we went to choppers, and then in '77 we handed it off to the Air Force. So it's a real deal, and people need to understand that the chemical warfare, the electronic warfare that we're suffering from, it affects all of us. It affects our neurotransmitters, these cell towers, the 5G, all that stuff. It comes into play, and people need to research, need to get away from these things, need to find these vaults. They just need to get away from that stuff because it alters how you think, how you feel, the chemicals that are in the foods, because our whole system is corrupted. It's poisoned, and people just need to start researching a little bit deeper.
I think
I just need to
Slider. I think it all
voice
comes
out a
down
little
to
bit.
Slider. I think it all comes down to getting all the Democratic politicians out of office.
Yeah.
If we can do that, a lot of that
Absolutely.
stuff will
Walk
change.
away.
That's where it's got to come. I mean, you know, anything that we do, any of the stuff that you just talked about, if there's any validity to any of it, I'm not saying if there isn't. If there's any validity to any of
Right.
it, most of it is because of the politicians that have been running the country for 50 years. We got to get them out, and we got to
That's right.
refresh everything.
All right. Term limits, get the dinosaurs out. How can somebody have $150,000, $60,000, $70,000 a year income walk away with $200 million? You know, we know Nancy Pelosi, she bought stock in Visa a week later. She spent $1 million a week later. She had like $10 million. So they've got all the insider trading information. These people are evil, and they're using it against us. I mean, and now they're utilizing taxpayer money to pay for all these sex scandals and stuff like that. This crap needs to stop. You know, we need to come together.
Yep.
We need to have a national summit, a real national summit, not just go and have a little party. We need to make plans. All zone leaders need to come together. All zone commanders need to come together. We need to have a national summit, come together, make a plan, and we need to work locally. We need to work nationally. It needs to happen. No more silly sitting around talking about it. We need to be proactive.
I
You need
agree.
to get off your couch, get off your computer,
I
and
agree.
get involved.
I agree.
I agree. I'm going to be working on something here in the next few weeks, so just keep your ears open.
All right. If you need anything, just let me know. I'll be in California probably the second week of
90
November.
seconds.
So I'd like to meet with you.
Okay.
And we'll sit down and have a face-to-face.
Sounds good. Looks like my show's
right,
about to
guys,
wrap
take care.
up, so I appreciate it, Slider. Thanks.
All right, buddy.
Take care. All right, so we made it through. We got about 60 seconds left. We made it through the night, even with some Facebook screw ups, with some
Hopefully
YouTube screw ups,
Hopefully it
with some
goes
Blog
better.
Talk screw ups. We've been pretty much hammered tonight. I mean, no matter what you know,
60 seconds.
anything that you can think of has happened tonight, which has been kind of weird. I've never had any issues on the Blog Talk before, so it's not just been Facebook. So anyway, this is Sherman Tank. This
Do
is
stuff.
Do Stuff. We're going
All
to
right,
sign out
guys.
for the night. So thanks for tuning in. And sorry we missed the first 10 minutes. Go to YouTube. Once it uploads to YouTube, you should be able to check it out, at least the first 10 minutes, and see what you think.
Sure.
Again, it's under Sherman Tank. So I will catch you guys later. You guys have a great rest of the week. Hope you enjoyed your Labor Day weekend and your Labor Day today. Don't work too hard for the rest of the week. We'll catch you all later.
This day was dedicated for you that work.
Absolutely. Catch you guys later. Bye.
10 seconds.
Oh, we still got 10 seconds, bro.
We're done.
Dude, let's whip our thingies out and
We're still on our
I don't
dipshit.
give a shit.
I do give a shit.
I said thingies, dude.